they can bring him back next year. If he's even good enough to play, it might be a Peyton Manning situation. Like where Colts just get rid of him because they're going to take Andrew Luck. They got a bridge quarterback in Kyle Allen. So that's their excuse to run with him. And they drafted Will Grier this year in the 4th round. It might just be easier to let go of Cam or trade Cam in the offseason to like Chicago or somewhere, or the Chargers or some Miami, like somewhere where they need a QB, and God forbid he goes to Miami. I would retire if I was Cam Newton and they traded me to Miami, and I will fight everybody in management.
Why?
Because Miami's a cesspool of failure. I would rather get traded to the Jets. At least I know I'm gonna get paid there. The Dolphins won't pay you, and they suck. Damn. Like that's the worst. Then you factor in the fact that the Dolphins just aren't going anywhere anytime soon. And that would be terrible to do that to Cam. It'd be terrible to see him washed out the league like that. But he's not the only cat going to IR. DeSean Jackson suffering from a torn abdomen earlier in the season. Yeah, pretty sure that was somebody's car alarm. Probably go check that. Yeah. The fact that this is such a mess of an episode. Wow. The fact that DeSean Jackson tore his abdomen, I think like week 1 or week 2, tried to come back and play, hasn't worked, and now he's going to IR, and the Eagles really need receivers, and Antonio Brown's still out there. I don't know. If they want to make that playoff push, they might have to consider signing Antonio Brown. And like the Eagles don't have good luck with like high profile receivers. It just doesn't end well. It don't. And Alshon Jeffrey's good, but he ain't that good. The craziest part is they re-signed Jordan Mathews for the 3rd time, former all-time leading receiver in Vanderbilt history. He came back, and this is his 3rd stint with the team. And it's like, it's just pretty much a patchwork. Speaking of patchworks, the Bengals, AJ Green might play for the first time this week, which would be amazing. First time all year, all season, ever since he got hurt before the season started. And their whole season's just been a wash. I guess they're probably only throwing him out there to salvage something. I don't even know what they'll be salvaging putting him out there. But I guess it's like, well, you might as well see if there's any tread on the tires. Because they might have to trade A.J. Green in the offseason. I could totally see them trading A.J. Green for a draft pick. Because I don't see where that offense is going. Because Andy Dalton ain't doing nothing. And it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna hold on to this guy, and it's just not working. It's just clearly not working out with Andy Dalton in that Bengals offense. Joe Mixon's coming back from injury. Like, Jonah Williams, their first round pick, hurt. Like, their last couple first round picks have been injured. I don't know. Like, the Bengals have worse luck than the Dolphins. Like, at this point, they might just have to go full-on tank. I don't see why the Bengals wouldn't just go full-on tank mode. Honestly. But, it is what it is. And speaking of other receivers in their 30s past their prime, I don't think A.J. Green's past his prime. He probably has like 2 or 3 years left. But being in Cincinnati, he's just draining his life force and causing him to constantly be injured all the time. And shout out to Julio Jones for being clearly the better player. But hey, whatever. Dez Bryant said he's going to be reaching out to teams in about 2 weeks, and he's ready to be a role player and not a number one receiver. He tore his Achilles tendon last year with the Saints. And now that he's coming back, it should be interesting to see what teams might reach out to him. I swear, if he ends up playing for the Patriots, I'm going to lose my shit. If Dez Bryant goes to the Patriots. Like, they don't even need any receivers. But we'll see where that lands. Also, Kazeen Daniels, Division II undrafted rookie linebacker. Defensive end converted to linebacker because the Buccaneers run a 3-4. He's an outside linebacker, a childhood accident left him blind in his right eye, completely blind in his right eye as a child. Was on a scooter, hit a pole, lost his eyesight. But he still managed to have 34 career sacks as a D2 defensive end out of West Virginia, Charleston. He did all that, and now he's going to be starting for the Buccaneers this Sunday due to injuries to Anthony Nelson and Carl Nassib. He's going to be a starting outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense for Todd Bowles for the Buccaneers, and I'm rooting for him. I mean, it's crazy to think that you could have 34 sacks in college and be blind totally in one eye. That's impressive.
I think so. No, but no, I'm thinking because it's I'm trying to form the question of do you think it's a
detriment?
No. It's bringing awareness to the people, society out there, disability is not necessarily a disability. You know what I mean? That. Yeah. That's not going to hinder me from doing all everyday things and exceeding in sports. So is it kind of opening the gate for more to see more players like that, or is it just it's just one in a wonder? Because isn't there another player that has no hand?
Shaquem Griffin, linebacker for the Seahawks.
And he's decent, right?
Yeah, had he had two hands, arguably he probably would have been a high first round pick because he ran a 4.37 at linebacker, and that's just unheard of to be that fast at linebacker. And he ran the same 40 time as his brother, who's a cornerback, who's exceptionally fast. So, yeah, I mean, you're seeing more and more cases of cats having things happen to them, and they persevere through it. And you find some great stories of the All-Star games, Senior Bowls, all that, the Combine, everything. Even people who got snubbed from the Combine. This kid went undrafted, and now he's about to start. This is huge for him. There's him, Shaquem Griffin. There's a young man who, I forget which college it was. I was just watching it on TV yesterday. Basketball player, first basketball player in D1 history. He has autism, and he started, I think it was Kent State, either Kent State or some school with yellow, black, and white colors, and he scored his first points. So it's the stigma that because somebody was either born with a birth defect or a disability, I think that stigma is slowly being wiped away because you're seeing more and more people with exceptional athleticism, and yeah, they have this thing that to someone who doesn't have that, it looks like, oh, there's something wrong with you, or oh, you may be less than, you're already at a disadvantage because you have a disability. But I look at kids who have Asperger's, they're like a genius in the one thing that they're really they really care about.
Right.
I mean, everything else they have problems in, but they're genius level with the one thing that they're good at. And how many of us walking around could say we're genius at the one thing that we do? There's a movie called Temple Grandison years ago. It was on HBO. This chick ended up running a farm, making a bunch of money. She had autism. And it's weird, in the sports world, that's almost seen as a negative or a hindrance. Or yeah, we'll give you some spotlight or some shine to put your name out there, but we don't really give you a chance to earn your spot. In some cases that happens. And you've seen it, if you look at, take wrestling, for example. I mean, it's not, some people say it's not a sport, it's entertainment. You need some athleticism. But they had a guy named Zach Gowen years ago who only had one leg, and he went out there and wrestled. And there was a controversy, and Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of him. Go back. Just go Google Brock Lesnar, Zach Gowen. But, you have all these different people who are, either handicapped physically or mentally in some way, and they're still successful. Mm-hmm. So I think, yeah, you'll always have somebody either sneak through the cracks or force their way in. And if he plays good, nobody's going to care. They're going to be like, damn.
But I just feel like it's like you're hearing about it like more. That's why I'm like wondering, is it like are people going to be upset by this progressiveness? Because I've noticed like people are so upset, like or not really upset, but like people. Maybe it's just me saying people, but like there's like this stigma about being gay. It's like more uncomfortable than.
It's not a handicap,
but
though.
it's not a handicap. I mean, I'm not trying to equate the two, but I'm just saying like it's. Huh? No. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to say like, it's just crazy that even though it's a lifestyle or whatnot, and compared to like somebody with disability, they didn't ask for that. It's like, whoa, like people are not as wowed about that compared to if someone were to be, perfectly normal, but they're gay and people are like, oh my God, what the, like.
I mean, that's kind of a false equivalency because being gay doesn't mean you're handicapped.
No, I mean,
it's more of a social stigma compared to like.
But people make it seem like it's a handicap still. Do you get what I'm saying?
In some sports, it's not that big a deal though. It's only just like the main two, basketball and football,
which are one of the two biggest sports in America. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make them equivalent, but I'm just saying like don't you see the irony in it too? Like. Like, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, this like being gay is a disability. I'm not. I'm just saying, isn't it crazy that people act like as if it's a disability?
I think it's just not their preference, but I think the fact that, like, let's say this dude Daniels, he was blind, but he's also a great player. You look at Michael Sam; he was a great college player. And yeah, he came out as gay and all this, and they had a whole media tour and everything, and Glad got behind him, but he couldn't play when it came down to it. But I also think, and I'm not foolish enough to believe that there aren't athletes right now who are probably top of the line who are gay. They're just not going to come out. Because like me and Pete talked about it a while ago, it's like, what's the point in doing it right now when you might just end up becoming a martyr and not like they'll be like, oh, you came out, you're gay, you're brave because you came out because of that, but then they'll totally just overlook your legacy as a player. So I think now, I don't think it now on the professional level, like I don't see that happening, people being celebratory of it. As far as like
I guess
the masses might be like the everyday person might be fans, whatever. But when you're talking about team owners who maybe have conservative viewpoints or head coaches or whoever, somebody might not agree with that, and then that messes with their money.
It's maybe what I'm trying to say. It's crazy that somebody's sexuality will hinder them from their job compared to like somebody who have disability, even though it may not affect their, their playing ability coming in, because that's why they got drafted and that's why they're, a star, because, or not a star, but like they're the exception because of that disability. But it's just crazy that like you would think that maybe it would hinder them on some things, but like I said, maybe you're right. I shouldn't equate the two. It's a false equivalency, but it's just so crazy to me to think like, like.
I get your point though, but I feel like it almost goes back to the point when gay people say we have the same struggle as black people, and I'm like, no, you don't, because there's mad gay racist white people, and no one says anything about them.
There are gay black people. So so you can't say that their struggle is not.
But are you gay first or are you black first? Because last time I checked,
you're both.
Because that's obvious. Like I'm a male and I'm black.
So you have to deal with both. You have to deal with not only being black, but you got to deal with being gay.
But being black trumps that because you.
No, I mean being a black gay person probably trumps just being black, because being
not really.
No,
because Trayvon Martin got murdered and he wasn't gay.
Dude, there are so many trans people being murdered every single day, and
I understand that.
Yeah.
But your sexuality doesn't take president